Hey there, everybody. How you doing? This is Alakai coming to you from the 2019 Fred Hall Fishing Show. Wanted to post up a couple of the seminars I went to, in case you were able to make it. This is the freshwater lures for saltwater bass, light tackle methods for year-round action, presented by Robert Schneider. He's a lure creator over at Phenix Baits. This was on Saturday. I think it was at 12 o'clock or so, at the Daiwa saltwater tank. So, hope you enjoy it. Finding it interesting. Thanks.
Schneider, I'm the owner of Phenix Baits. We manufacture fishing lures for fresh and saltwater, and we're going to talk a little bit about some of our freshwater lures that are really good for fishing for saltwater bass. I guess I'll kind of start off with the rods that I usually use most of the time. If I'm fishing for calico bass, sand bass, maybe some halibut, something light, I'm using this is actually a Dobbin 735, that real heavy action freshwater bass rod. It's about equivalent for small swim bait. And then I like to use the Revo inshore reel. It's saltwater, duty, and I also use it for freshwater a lot. So, this is one of the old ones, the old silver ones. They've got about 2 or 3 new versions out, but this one still works for me. I just, send it in about every 2 years and have it reconditioned and cleaned up real good. When I get off the water, I just hose it off real well and put it in the stand. I'll use either fluorocarbon line or I'll use braided line. Yep. It kind of depends on the situation. Let me give you an example. If I'm fishing down in San Diego on the Imperial Beach pipes, sewage pipes that come out, then I'm probably going to use straight fluorocarbon, because mostly what's down there is rock. And so rock is really terrible on braid. It's like taking your shirt and putting it on the blacktop and rubbing it. It just tears it up. And then I'll probably use like 15-pound fluorocarbon. It's not very often you get, something there that's going to need super heavy line. So, most of the bass that we're catching are, between, say, 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds to, a nice one's like 5 or 6, right? Occasionally you'll get something bigger, but 15 pound will do it, and it'll leave you enough room on the reel that you can actually go all the way down.
I know I don't use those, but how much does that hold?
I do not know. I'd have to look at the box. Sorry, but yeah, it's enough to get 80 feet or more down. If I'm fishing really deep on
Depends
those
on
pipes.
depends on the pound test. Yeah.
So that's my mainstay. I'll also use the same setup with braided line on it if I'm going to fish in the kelp. And if I'm like fishing the boiler rock, then I'm going to use a combination. I'm going to use like 50 or 65 pound braid, and I'm going to put a fluorocarbon leader on there. Now, as far as the fluorocarbon leader goes, I make it roughly the length of my rod, because when I reel it in, I won't want the knot to come where my thumb is.
Yeah.
All right. So, that's how I decide how long to make it. And then quite often, if I know I'm going to be fishing boiler rocks and that sort of thing, I'll go up to 20-pound fluorocarbon on them. But just for the leader, and then the braid is usually 55 or 60 pound thereabout. And so for the most part, I have 3 setups on my boat when I'm doing that. I got braid with a fluorocarbon leader, and then I have just straight fluorocarbon. So, and then it's just basically a nice freshwater swim bait rod. A light swim bait rod, doesn't have to be heavy. Because, you're going to throw some saltwater type swim bait for sure. One of my favorites is we've got the Vengeance weedless kelp head here, and I really designed that to go with the MC Viejos. It fits on there really nice. And so this is my weedless setup when I'm going to throw swim bait. I kind of measure it out there, mark with the finger where I'm going to put that. Hopefully I do it right, because you got this on film.
You got people watching.
There we go.
So that's like California and San Diego.
Yep. Calico, this is just a cast it and retrieve it. You know, chuck and wind, cast and wind. Works great, comes through the rocks really good. You know, this is, like I was talking about, the setup that I usually have the braid, the 20-pound fluorocarbon on. This is what I'm usually throwing, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Do those little weed
guards
things ever deter the fish, or do they ever like trying to grab it and then just like feel that and then?
You know, maybe on a rare occasion, but not for the most part. I mean, if you push on it, you can see how light that is.
Right. Well, I've seen it before, but they have to basically come at it at a certain angle. I'm like, if they're coming at it from behind, aren't they just going to hit them and say, oh, forget it?
Well, no, I mean, but they use almost always, they're going to try to hit the head.
Yeah.
You know?
And so that's when
you get some short bites, and we'll talk about that in a little bit, and the design because of that. But here's another little thing. What we noticed is when we first were prototyping these, we're out there, we're catching the calicos, and we're just having a heck of a time getting these things out of the fish's mouth. And we suddenly realized that, oh, that's a good thing. And what we noticed was that when you're trying to get the fish out, the weed guard would stop it from coming off. It was getting in the way. So you know how you lose fish sometimes? You actually lose fewer fish because of that weed guard, because they can't throw the hook as well. So it was one of those unintended consequences that was really good.
So that one you just throw out there and reel it in?
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, mostly in the boiler rocks, you know, along the coast. You can throw this into the kelp too. I've got some other stuff that's a little better for throwing into the kelp and being weedless. A lot of guys will do that, but one of the things I wanted to point out is there's no glue on that, right? Look how hard I'm pulling on it. We designed this with round collars. Instead of the spike collars that come with most of these, most of those tear up or will slice into the bait and it comes off. Well, I come from a freshwater background, and the freshwater jigs have always been like that. And so I didn't think a whole lot about it other than I didn't like the other ones because I was fishing calico bass tournaments and I would get short strike, right? They'd grab the tail and invariably it would come off and it'd wrap around. And you notice, I mean, I just pulled on this pretty hard and it didn't come off and it didn't wrap around anything. So to me, there were two reasons I wanted that. One, because the super glue was a pain in the butt to deal with all the time on a bouncing boat. And the other reason was that I wanted to be able to, like we do in freshwater fishing usually, you get a short bite, you put the reel in freeze pool, give it some line, let it go back down again, put it in gear, and start fishing it some more because you're going for that second bite. Right? You couldn't do that in saltwater because these plastics always would come down and wrap around.
Yeah.
And so if you got a short bite, you had no choice but to reel it in and start over. You couldn't go for that second bite with that same fish in that same area. So to me, that was key. So we sell these over at my booth in booth 363 over by the freshwater bass tank. We're doing a special on all of our lead heads. You buy 4, you get 1 free. I'm sure it's the best deal at the show because we're the manufacturers. Kind of hard to undercut the manufacturers. So that's that one. Any questions on that weedless setup? All right. This isn't exactly for freshwater bass. This is a setup I use. I call it a cheater troll when I'm going for tuna, but it's related to what we're doing because you notice I got the same type of collar on here, and this is what it's called the cheater. Well, I do it for 2 things: cheater troll and also fishing the slide. And again, this plastic doesn't come off because we've got that really nice double collar on there. And what it allows me to do is to fish a swim bait on a tuna trip when they get a hookup right away, you know, when they're trolling. All right, so I'll use a setup like this, and what I do is, say they get a hookup at the back of the boat, and they're reeling in the trolling rod. Well, while they're reeling in the trolling rod, everybody else is standing by the bait tank, waiting to get bait. So I will go over to the side, and not this rod, something a little more stout, and I'll drop this one on the side, I'll freeze pull it and let it go back. And then right about the time they start giving actual bait, I start reeling it in. And every once in a while, I'll catch another yellowtail or I'll catch a tuna or whatever, you know, we're going for it. Because I'm out there when everybody else is waiting for bait. I'm fishing. Right? You can also do this So that's called fishing the slide. You can also do it as a cheater trolling rig. If you stick way out on the side with your rod, so you don't get in the way of the other guys, you know. And so you can kind of troll with a stout enough rod and the lead head. And I only use the 2 ounce because I want to make sure it gets down there. And so I'm getting an extra trolling rotation, right? So that's kind of a nice way to catch a couple extra fish here or there, you know, especially if you're playing the jackpot game, right? Every fish counts, and
Well, except on the troll.
yeah, except are you really trolling? This is your rod, you're really, you know, it depends on the boat.
I get it. It's not tied down.
Oh yeah. As long as you know what you're doing and you don't get in the way of the trolling stuff, the captains are usually fine. But you know, I gotta say, you know, if you do the slide or you do this and you get your stuff messed up with the trolling rig, the captain's gonna come up and say, don't be doing that anymore. You know, so you gotta fish it smart, you know. And again, with the fishing the slide, once the live bait fishermen start getting in there, you gotta get out of the way. Because otherwise you're gonna, you know, their bait's going back and you're reeling in with this big old hook and it's gonna catch a bunch of lines. So, you know, once they really start passing out the bait, you gotta get in there and get out of the way if you don't have a fish. You know, because otherwise you're just gonna make a whole bunch of people mad. Right? So again, this is the lead head that we make. The plastic is a AA. I like theirs. They've got some really nice little bumps here, which if you are into putting scent on your line, on your baits, the bumps kind of hold the scent. It's pretty neat. All right, so that was just kind of a little diversion there. Let's go back to talking some of the freshwater stuff here. The absolute most weedless thing you can fish in the kelp is a spinnerbait. All right, it's just like freshwater. You know, you cast it out into the sticks. This blade protects things from getting stuck on the hook that aren't supposed to be there. Some people will put a plastic trailer on this, or maybe even a swim bait trailer on it. I don't. It's just the way I do it. I just cast and retrieve. And we make these in 3/4, 1 ounce, and 1.5 ounce. So you can literally just cast it into the stringers and shake it down in there. And it's the most weedless thing you can fish out there, you know. And so you just reel it back in, and the blades are spinning, get it down to the bottom, you can bounce it a couple times. And again, with this one, I'd fish it with straight braid. The braid's going to be thin, so if you do get wrapped in some kelp, that braid's going to cut the kelp when you're pulling on it.
Is it made to clink like that? Is it made to clink like that? Like when you're doing it, it's making a lot of noise.
It's
No, it's sounding. You hear a clink, clink every time, like there. Is it made to do that, or just because you're holding like that?
I mean, you know, if they're hitting each other,
Yeah.
they're going to definitely make vibration. The one of the things that you'll notice about ours is that's not a twisted line. Some people make some spinnerbaits and they have a twisted eye here, which makes it easy for people to see where to tie the knot. But the problem with that twisted line, the twisted eye, is that the line gets in there. Invariably, you cast it out and it wraps a little bit, and you're pulling on it, and that twisted line tie cuts your line, so you lose a spinnerbait.
Yeah.
So, I believe the original idea of a twisted eye on a spinnerbait was for people who would put a clip on it and like troll it. But a lot of people look at it this and go, well, where do you tie it? Well, you tie it right in there. You know, it's okay. The line can slip a little bit, but when you're pulling this way, it's not going to go up or down or anywhere. And you don't have that twisted tie there to snag your line and break you off. So we're selling these at the booth for $8 a piece. I think it's a really good deal. Like I said, that's the absolute most weedless way that I've come up with fish to kill. Any questions on the spinnerbait? All right. What else we got here? We got the jig spin. To me, this is the funnest way to fish for calico bass and sand bass, halibut, the whole thing. It's our weedless head with a skirt, so we call it a weedless jig. And then we put a spinning blade on the back of it, so we call it a weedless jig spin. Alright? And so what it has done is it gives it a little more profile with the skirt, and I've replaced the plastic with the blade. So now you don't have to worry about plastic coming off and wrapping around or any of that kind of stuff. You got some tremendous splash from the blade. You know, just like you have some, no vibration from the tail. On this, it says you've got flash from the blade. So this is what I'm throwing most of the time out now when I'm going for calico bass or sand bass. You can drag it on the bottom. I catch spotted bay bass on this, on the smaller version. We make this in a 1/4 ounce to a 2 ounce. We're selling them over at the booth for $6 a piece. And again, it's weedless. You can throw it into the rocks. You can throw it into the kelp. You know, it's kind of basically it's a combination, right, between the spinnerbait and the lead head with the swim bait. So it's that middle thing that kind of does a little bit of everything. So I really like it. I've actually caught sheephead on it.
Have you ever tested any of these in freshwater for the largemouth and smallmouth?
I haven't, but recently I've gotten a couple pictures from a couple guys that are. So my number one color in freshwater is called dark green pumpkin. And so I started making these in dark green pumpkin for those guys. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, there's so much overlap between freshwater and saltwater bass. I know somebody's going to send me a picture one of these days of a calico bass and dark green pumpkin. I mean, you know, it's going to happen because, you know, most everything in there has got some green in it, right? All those fish, bait fish, everything. In fact, here's one of the versions of that. Here's the smaller version with the dark green pumpkin and the gold blade. I used this over at the freshwater bay at the bass tank. You know, I had to cut the hook off.
No, I'm just thinking of other baits that are similar.
Yeah, there was, somebody had one like this, I mean, like 20 years ago, and I don't remember who the manufacturer was or what it was called, but yeah, some of the old-time fishermen, they go, oh, hey, yeah, that's one of those old, and I'm like, no, this
Is this the one you're talking about for using for spotties?
You can use this for spotties, yeah. That's a great size for spotties. For the spotties, I like the 3/8 and a half ounce the most. A lot of guys like the real, I mean, I make it down to a 1/4, but everybody's got their preference. You know, I got a couple of guys that buy these things in 5-pack, all right? And so I give them a break on a 5-pack online. And one of them, the only color he's going to buy is root beer calico. And another guy, the only color he'll buy is this one here called red crab, all right? And they both catch fish, and I can't get one to buy the other, or the other buy the, you know? It becomes one of those things that's their color, you know? So there's the red crab, and it's just kind of funny. You know, I run across guys, and both of them are fishing San Diego Bay, so you can't tell me that, you know, one guy couldn't take a root beer calico and catch something with the red crab, and the other guy can go the other way. We sell them individually. Yeah. Look up.
Get that set up. That's awesome.
Now, the other thing I just kind of wanted to throw out there is we had made a whole bunch of these Cedros irons. The process is called dye sublimation. It's the same thing that they use for putting on coffee cups. So it's not a wrap. It's not something you can peel off. We're doing a pretty good deal on those. We're doing $12 each or 2 for 20. So I just thought, you know, since I had a couple people here with attention, I'd bring that around too and show you what else we had. And the other thing, I got a pretty good deal. I know a distributor, and so I got some of his rod wrap that you saw me use on mine. I don't know about you guys, but you know, I mess up guides every once in a while, and especially if I'm on a smaller boat and I have to put like 3 or 4 rods next to each other with the line on it, they get tangled up. I mean, I put them next to each other, they're all nice and neat. When I go to grab one, they're kind of tangled. This helps a lot, keeps them from getting tangled. I have not had one come off while I'm driving the boat. Right? I mean, I can't make a guarantee. I can just tell you that my experience has been, despite going 60, 65 miles down the lake or in, you know, slightly slower in the ocean, these things have not pulled off. I have not lost one. But I can't make that guarantee. But yeah, I mean, that helps me a lot as far as, you know, not having to spend 5 minutes untangling 3 rods so I can get the one I wanted to fish with this time instead of last time. So yeah, we're doing $8 on these. I think they're normally like 12. Like I said, I just happen to know a distributor I don't make these, so I just for these shows I'll pick up a couple extra things just because I can get a good deal on them for people.
Question: do you make it for spinning rods?
Do I make what?
Do they come for spinning rods?
Yeah, they do. I don't have them for spinning rods. I just got the ones that are good for bass and walleye up to 7'6" rod.
I'm talking conventional.
Yeah, they make them for spinning rods. You can look on the back. They've got. I don't have those in my booth. I just got like 8 of these from the distributor and said, hey, let me throw them in the booth for a couple guys in case they want some, So that's what that was all about. And I think I covered everything. Questions on any of that?
I'm mostly going for the spotted bay bass inside the bays and harbors. And the guys before were saying the same thing, like a lot of the freshwater stuff works in the saltwater, vice versa.
Oh, yeah.
Same opinion, you're the same opinion, where if it works in the freshwater, then give it a try for the saltwater thing, or what would you recommend?
There's nothing I make for freshwater bass that won't work for saltwater.
Yeah, okay.
And vice versa. The only thing I've done, for example, is for this has got a thicker wire. Because generally the saltwater bass bite a little harder, bite a little, have sharper teeth, that sort of thing. The freshwater bass is a little more finesse.
Yeah.
But otherwise, everything. And then some of the colors are a little different sometimes, because of the water and the current. But otherwise, anything. I mean, I showed you the football jig. Did I show you the football jig?
No.
I throw these a lot of times at the jetty in San Diego Bay. Right? I usually don't use this particular color. I use pumpkin orange hot tip, one of my favorites. All right. Not that this wouldn't work, but for whatever reason, like one of the first times I went out there, I caught stuff on that color, and then you just stay with that, right?
You're supposed to be trying them off since you own it.
Oh, I know, but
I want to see a picture.
What's what's the benefit of this type of
It stands up really nice. The football jig was really designed to fish into rocks. And so if you're fishing jetties, that kind of
just
stuff.
for jigging up and down, or do you cast that and also use pocket?
I cast them out and, I do all of it. It depends, You cast it out, they hit the rocks, you pop it out, you reel it a little bit, you let it go back down. Once you kind of figure out what the fish are doing, whether they're hitting it on the drop or whether they're hitting it on the pod, you start doing that more. The biggest difference I could say is if I'm fishing a slack tide, I'll use lighter stuff. But freshwater is almost always slack tide. I mean, you're fishing a lake; it's like fishing slack tide all the time. So the weights are smaller. When you're fishing, in the ocean, I'm fishing 5/8, 3/4, 1 ounce a lot of times because I've got the current that's trying to move everything around. So I mean, that's really the biggest difference between the freshwater and the saltwater is the current. So I have to go up in weight a little bit. Otherwise, it just goes with the tide, it goes with the current. And then like some of the colors, some brighter colors,
So is it still true that darker colors in the daylight or brighter colors in the dark water?
All right, so as far as, the rule of thumb is dark days, dark colors, bright days, light colors. All right, and that holds pretty much true. Now you have to also factor into it the color of the water. Because again, if the water is dark, then you got to go darker colors. If the water is clear, you go lighter colors. So you got to balance those two out because you could be fishing a clear lake on a dark day. So then you need something in the middle, right?
Because I don't think you would want to use the chrome one on a dark day in clear water.
Yeah, I mean,
you wouldn't see that.
And that's why we make 32 different colors of jig.
I know, it's a big mathematical equation.
Yeah. No, and then, as you know, you go out there in the morning and it changes. You go out there and it's foggy and it's overcast, the wind's blowing, and by 10 o'clock it's clear bluebird sky. So then what do? You got to change something usually. So, yeah. As far as, I mean, I like fishing at high tide in the ocean, but I like throwing up against the rocks, the break walls, the jetties. I like fishing rocks, and so I prefer high tide. I think the fish come up. But more important than anything else, the water's just got to be moving. And if the water's not moving, like I'm fishing at black tide, then I'll probably drag something on the bottom. You know, so I'll make the boat move and drag the stuff along, so I get the movement that way. But anything else? You guys good?
I think so.
All right. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate you checking out my video. If you have a chance, please hit like and subscribe. Comment below if you can. Let me know what I'm doing wrong or what I'm doing right, what you'd like to see more of. Anything of like that. Anyways, we'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye.